All right, although reluctant at first, Brianna Tarr, speaking of, was willing to train Podrak, right? But Broncos quarterback Joe Flacco is not taking her approach. No, he's not training a squire. As Flacco said last week, his job is to win football games, not to mentor Drew Lock. And if only Flacco saw how Brianna handled the hound. I digress. Panthers quarterback Cam Newton is cool with the role of mentor, just as backup QB Kyle Allen. Allen saying of Newton, quote, the whole year, when I had questions, he was willing to answer them 100%. Now, Newton says he's already reached out to rookie quarterback Will Grier and looks forward to working with him. Meanwhile, Kirk Cousins is probably looking forward to proving he's worth the 3-year, $84 million guaranteed contract he signed a year ago. Vikings co-owner Mark Wilf admitting to the Minneapolis Star-Tribune that although Cousins' first year as a Viking was a disappointment, he remains high on the QB, saying, quote, I think a year under his belt here in Minnesota and his familiarity with everything is going to bode well. He's doing great. And former Steelers Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell didn't leave, as we saw Pittsburgh on the best of terms with their former quarterback. Maybe they just didn't get to spend enough time with Big Ben at his lake house in Georgia, which is where he spent last week playing host to some of his teammates. For proof, Steelers wideout Dante Moncrief tweeted this pic out. Teammates Juju Smith-Schuster, James Conner, Jalen Samuels, among others who were there receiving invites for a week of bonding with the Steelers quarterback. Now, he had scaled the back in recent years, reportedly because he had a growing family, but now we're seeing this team building. Kay, guys, what do we make of this little trip to Georgia? Very interesting.
Well, it's interesting timing, right?
Yeah.
For Big Ben.
I would say
to be doing all this.
This offseason, when all we heard about was, how him and Antonio weren't getting along. And these are my guys. Right. We don't need you.
Have we been saying that? Like, this is the year, like, Ben, this is your show. Yeah. There's no other star. It's you, and it's running. I mean, I have no snarky comment for this. That was a cool picture.
No, we're still waiting for the invite.
They made sure to take the picture, though, so they can get it out there onto the interwebs.
That's the way of the world.
I'm waiting for Kyle or Nate to invite us to their palatial estates, but hey, that invite has...
I'll give you a tour of the orchards. The equestrian grounds are particularly nice this time of year.
I mean, Nate's got a pool.
Nate does have a pool. We've seen the Instagram.
Yeah. But we do have other news to get to. Here's some headlines. Redskins cornerback Josh Norman and Giants GM Dave Gettleman, we know they have some history, the connection from Carolina. Gettleman, of course, withdrew Norman's franchise tag, which ended up with Norman signing with the Redskins. So there's a divisional situation there. And then last week on the Rich Eisen show, Norman commented with some baiting from Rich Eisen on Gettleman's recent moves in New York. Take a look.
I think we need to put him on salary. I think we need to put him on salary. I mean, they need to protect Dave Gettleman at all costs up in New York, for sure. Protect that man at all costs because he's winning for us.
He's winning for the Redskins. The Redskins should be paying Dave Gettleman. I like Josh Norman. A lot of ammo for the Redskins in that Giants rivalry. Those comments, of course, and Landon jumping ship going from the Giants to the Redskins, and both teams drafting rookie quarterbacks this season as well. So what division rivals are you two most excited and looking forward to seeing play each other?
Gosh, right?
It's funny. It's like we talk about the Redskins and the Giants. Those were the two worst teams in the division last year. I look at the top of the division, the Eagles and Cowboys. Both teams went to the playoffs, and both had two of the most dramatic games that we saw last season. Eagles-Cowboys, to me, this year is even more fascinating. Wentz and Prescott, remember, drafted in the same rookie class. Wentz went second overall. Prescott went somewhere in the 4th round. Prescott has had Wentz's number the past season, and yet overall, these two teams have gone back and forth, topsy-turvy. Week 10 in Philly was a Sunday night game. The Cowboys went in there and won 27-20. Week 14 in Dallas, we know that was the wild game where it went back and forth, and in overtime, Cowboys won again, 29-23. That game had 5 ties or lead changes. But it's going to be a battle this year in the NFC East. I do think the Redskins and Giants will be much improved. But you're talking about just two teams who hate each other, two quarterbacks who are going to be compared for the rest of their careers and play each other twice a year. I think Dak versus Wentz and Eagles versus Cowboys, I'm here for it. I cannot wait for this season.
A lot of drama in that entire NFC East. I'll go to the AFC West for mine. Chiefs, Chargers. We have to wait until week 11 for the first time they face each other
like that.
since that epic loss by the Chiefs at Arrowhead to the Chargers. Both squads finishing at 12-4. And where do they play? Under the bright lights of Monday Night Football in Mexico City, a place that we were robbed of seeing an NFL game because of field conditions a year ago. Those fans are going to come out in full force, the fans internationally, and both of those teams traveling to be part of the festivities down there. And this, I mean, that late in the season could sort of have a big role in the fate of the AFC West between those two squads.
That's a game to circle.
I'm here for that.
I mean, that's maybe the game of the year. September 5th, though, guys, kickoff. NFL 100, Bears, Packers,
Let's go!
Soldier Field. I got a big taste of Bear Down this weekend. I made the trip to Chicago solo this year because Kay couldn't make it to the Bears Care Gala. And let me tell you, they are so ready for this 100th season of Chicago Bears football. Here we go. Urlacher came out, was way into it, just gushing about how good Khalil Mack is. Had great takes. Then we got Mitch, his lady friend Hillary. They made the trip down. So fun. Trubisky's locked in. The Nagys, Matt and Stacy. We talked all about the fun they had last year, what they do next year. That's Allen Robinson and Alyssa. Allen Robinson off a franchise record for postseason playoffs. And then Chuck Pagano, the new D coordinator. Chuck Strong was the coolest guy in the room. Has obviously huge shoes to fill with Vic Fangio going to Denver. But there was so much positive vibe for Chicago, not just about the team, not just because they were good last year. This NFL 100 deal and the fact that they are kicking off, as Nagy said, we get the Packers again week 1. It's kind of nice we have them in our place this time. That is, the whole world will be watching this game. And there's so much going on amidst all the expectations with the Bears. Those guys are at a 10 right now.
Riddle me this. We were both there last year. You were there this year. The energy you're describing seems to be the same as it was in Nagy's first year. Was there any difference in energy after they've won the North?
So much. Because last year was like, this Nagy guy seems like a cool hire. I wonder if it's going to work. Is Trubisky really a thing? Now it's like, we know we got something. The question is, like, do we have a Super Bowl team? Not if we have anything. Obviously, Ryan Pace, his wife Stephanie, the GM, were there. Brought in new players now, all these great additions. But this is now like we got to win the Super Bowl this year. It's a disappointment. And that was not nervousness. It was pure excitement in Soldier Field. It was awesome.
Trubisky ready for this? I mean, do you feel like, okay, last year was, aw, shucks, this is neat. Yeah. Is this the year Trubisky becomes one of the guys in the league?
Grown?
It's a good question. I think he has. All I can say, I know he's worked his butt off the whole offseason. I know he's got a great chemistry with Robinson. He's really fired up about the Bears running backs. Mike Davis, they drafted a guy. They got a lot of weapons for him. But the question remains, September 5th, Rodgers is coming to Soldier Field. And it gets real tight really fast. So I think he's ready. I know psychologically he's there. But that game to kick off the NFL 100 season is as good as it gets.
Who crushed it on the dance floor? Was McCaskey out there?
George McCaskey was fantastic, and his wife Barb was fantastic.
They're amazing.
Obviously, we love the Burtons. Trey Burton showed up with Jordans.
Spice Adams make an appearance?
Spice Adams was not there, but Hakeem Hicks is a handful. Charles Leno Jr. is a handful. And, of course, the punter, Pat O'Donnell, is the best-looking person in the world. True. He killed it, too.
Love it. Bears Care Gala. Lots of great stuff. With September 5th?
September 5th, Bears
in the
Packers.
calendar. 100th year celebrating the Bears and the NFL.
Awesome.
It's just getting started. Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
We can talk about him because what they got going on is real special and unique down there in Baltimore. And he was the only rookie quarterback in the playoffs last season. How about that?
Yes.
Can he get to the dance again in 2019? You talk about expectations on Trubisky. How about Lamar Jackson? Oh, and here he is. The big contracts in the rearview mirror. So are the